Welcome to all of you. Myself, Dr. Neha Desai from Department of Chemistry, RVNB College, Shri Rampur. Now, I am discussing the next lecture in the HPLC instrumentation chapter. In the earlier lecture, we have just started about the HPLC instrumentation, and I have given you the brief idea about the instrumentation of HPLC. We have already discussed the column packing, then detectors, sample injection unit, and the recorder. These are the different components which are used in the HPLC analysis. Now, after this, the next part is the HPLC instrumentation, is the column packing. So in case of the column packing, mainly there are three types of column that we are using. The first one is the pellicular column, second one is the bonded phase column, and the third one is the microporous column. So as far as the columns are concerned, there are three types of column, that is pellicular column, then bonded phase column, and the third one is the microporous column. Now, in these three types of column, microporous column, as the name indicates, it is having the particle size in the range of micrometer. In case of pellicular column, it has a high efficiency as compared to the other columns. It is also known as the superficially porous column. And the third category is banded phase column. In this type of column, your material is supported on an inert phase. So these are the three different types of columns that we are using. Now, what is the main procedure which is used for the column packing? The most widely used procedure for the column packing is the high pressure slurrying technique. So, in high pressure slurrying technique, the slurry is inserted inside the column with a high pressure. But before that, these columns are commercially available also, and you can directly purchase it from the shop, and you can use it for your analysis purpose. But most of the times people, they prefer to use the column which is man-made or which is packed on their which is packed individually. So what are the necessary precautions that you have to take while packing of the column? The packing of the column, it should be uniform one, without the presence of any air bubbles. Uniform packing should be done. Air bubbles or voids should not be present. So these are the necessary conditions for the column packing. Now, in case of column packing, what is most necessary? That is, you have to fill the column with a column packing material in a uniform manner. There should not be presence of any voids or air bubbles. The column, it should be crack free, or there should not be use of any hard gels in the column packing. So as far as the columns in HPLC are concerned, in high performance liquid chromatography, generally stainless steel is used for the column. These columns, they are having the range 3 centimeter to 20 centimeter length, and these columns, they are of basically 3 types: pellicular column, bonded phase column, and the microporous column. Now in these 3 types of columns, the column packing is the most important thing. Commercially available columns are also there available in the market, and you can prepare the column manually by using the high pressure slurrying technique. The most necessary condition is that the column packing should be uniform without the presence of any air bubbles or voids. Now after the column packing procedure, the next part is the different types of detectors which are used in HPLC. So there are different types of detectors used in HPLC. So what are these types? The first one is the RI detector, or we call it as refractive index detector. Then second is the UV detectors. Third one is the photo emission detector. So to start with, the first point is the refractive index detector or RI detector. So refractive index detector or RI detector, it is basically of 2 types. Along with this, luminescence detector is also there. Then electrochemical detector is also there. And light scattering detector is also there. So to begin with, it's the first one, that is refractive index detector, which is also known as RI detector. So refractive index detector, it is of 2 types. That is, one is the deflection refractometer, and the second one is the Fresnel refractometer. So these are the main 2 types of the refractive index detector. So refractive index detector or RI detector, it works on the principle that is change in the refractive index is noted, and for that purpose what is necessary, that is there should be the appreciable change in the refractive index of the sample or the analyte. Okay, so in case of refractive index detector, 2 types of detector are there, that is deflection refractometer and Fresnel refractometer. Whenever you are analyzing the sample by using the RI detector, there should be a appreciable difference in between the refractive index of your sample and the refractive index of the reference material. Now this refractive index detector, it has some disadvantages. So what are the disadvantages of RI detector? The disadvantages are that it lack in sensitivity. RI detectors, they are not very much sensitive. Then RI detector, it is not suitable for gradient elution. then there is a strict temperature control is needed. So this is about the disadvantages. Need to control the temperature. So lack of sensitivity is the first disadvantage. Then this refractive index detector, it is not suitable for the gradient illusion system which is commonly used in the HPLC technique, and also need to control the temperature. These are the disadvantages of the refractive index detector. Now the first part is deflection detector, deflection refractometer, and second one is the Fresnel refractometer. These are the two subtypes of the refractive index detector. So as the name indicates, deflection refractometer, that is when you pass a beam of monochromatic light in this deflection refractometer, then when you are passing a beam of monochromatic light by using a double prism, then in this case deflection occurs. As the deflection occurs in the light beam, the name is given as deflection refractometer, and for this purpose there should be a presence of double prism, and you are passing a beam of monochromatic light through the prism, and when you are passing it through the prism, the light beam gets deflected as a function of change in the refractive index. So this is nothing but the working principle for the deflection refractometer. Now the second type is the Fresnel refractometer. In Fresnel refractometer also the change in the refractive index is noted. So these are the two types of refractive index detector. Now the second is the UV detectors. Now UV detectors, these are most widely used detector in case of HPLC. Why UV detectors they are most widely used? Because these detectors, they have high sensitivity, along with this, these detectors, they are suitable for the gradient illusion. And wide range of sample can be analyzed by using the UV detector. Along with this, the next important thing is that in case of the UV detectors, it is suitable to analyze the wide range of sample, and the sample requirement is very low. So low sample quantity is sufficient in case of the UV detectors. So UV detector, this is the second type of detector which is most widely used, and these are all nothing but the advantages of UV detector. So along with this ultraviolet detector, it is having a high efficiency. As compared to all other types of the detectors. Now in case of UV detector, what is the precaution that you have to take? You have to avoid any air bubble which is passing through the mobile phase, because as it is a highly sensitive technique, slight impurity, slight amount of impurity or slight presence of air bubble, it will lead to the formation of extra peaks or impurity peaks. Extra peaks or peaks due to impurity. Hence, the care should be taken that you have to avoid the presence of any impurity or presence of any air bubble in case of the UV detector. Now, after this UV detector, the third type of detector that we are going to study is the photodiode arrays. So, this is the third type of detector. Now, photodiode arrays detector. This detector is most widely used because it can record the whole spectrum of electromagnetic radiation. Okay, whole spectrum of the electromagnetic radiations means basically we are interested in the UV region as well as the visible region. The UV region which corresponds to the 200 to 400 nanometer, while the visible region it corresponds to the 400 to 800 nanometer. So such a wide range of spectrum is covered by the photodiode array detector. Hence this is the one of the cause why this detector is also widely used. In photodiode type of detector, this consists of series of a photodiode, or what we call it as array of photodiodes. So a series of photodiodes or array of photodiode is present in photodiode type of a detector. Okay, so in this photodiode type of a detector, the signal is received by the detector, and signal which is received by the detector it is scanned by the microprocessor. Okay, so in photodiode type of a detector, a signal is received by detector. After receiving the signal from the detector, in case of photodiode type of a detector, the signal is processed. This work is done by the microprocessor. And when the signal is processed or scanned, then finally you will obtain the signal for the photodiode type of a detector. So this is about the working of our third type of a detector, that is photodiode arrays. Now after the refractive index detector, photodiode arrays, and the third one is the UV detector, the next type of detector that we are going to study, that is about the luminescence detectors. So in case of luminescence detector, as the name indicates, these detectors are used for the substances which are naturally showing the phenomena of either a fluorescence or luminescence. So this is used for the substances which are showing So the substances which are naturally showing the fluorescence or luminescence, for such a substances the luminescence detectors are most widely used, and they are more sensitive to the luminescence as well as the fluorescent substances. But along with this, sometimes the luminescence is externally added or superficially added. So this detector can be used for the substances which are having a luminescence property. This detector is also highly sensitive, and it can detect a very small amount of the sample. Now, along with the naturally occurring luminescent substances, the new principle which is used in the luminescence detector, it is LIF. That is, LIF means laser induced fluorescence. Hence, the substances which are not showing the luminescence or fluorescence naturally, in that substances nowadays, by using the laser technology, the laser induced fluorescence technology is used, and due to the induction of fluorescence, you can detect the signal in the luminescence detector. So this is about our fourth category of the detector, that is the luminescence detector. Now the fifth one that we are going to study, that is about light scattering detector. Light scattering detector, this is the fifth category of the detector which we are going to study. In case of light scattering detector, as the name indicates, the scattering of light takes place. So, in case of light scattering detector, the scattering of light takes place, and therefore there is a selective deflection or the detection of volatile as well as non-volatile compound can be done by using the light scattering detector. It is especially used for the detection of non-volatile compounds. So these substances, they can be detected by using the light scattering detector. Okay, along with this non-volatile detector, what is the necessary condition? That is, the column which is used in the HPLC, it should not be clogged or blocked by using any of the particles or the impurities. Hence, in case of light scattering detector, there should not be a clogging of the column, or there should not be a presence of any solid particles in the mobile phase of your material. So, the light scattering detector is the next type of detector that we are going to study. Now, the next part of the detector is the electrochemical detector. As the name indicates, these detectors are commercially available and they are used in the number of electrochemical reaction. Electrochemical reaction means where the electrical energy is converted into the chemical energy or vice versa. So most commonly these types of detectors, they are used in the field of polarography. Polarography, it is nothing but the analytical technique where there is a use of DME, that is the dropping mercury electrode. So in the analytical techniques such as polarography or electrogravimetry, these types of detectors are used. And what is the main advantage? As it is a highly sensitive type of a detector, it is very sensitive and it can detect the signal in a fraction of second. So in electrochemical detector, they are most widely used for the analysis of different types of drugs or the analytes by using the electrochemical detector. They are also used as the spectroscopic detector in number of applications. So this is all about our next category of the detector, that is the electrochemical detector. Hence, as far as the detectors in HPLC are concerned, detector is the device which detects the signal and it will amplify the signal, and finally a well developed chromatogram is observed on a display unit. So the role of detector is very crucial in case of HPLC analysis. Basically, different types of detectors are involved in HPLC. The first one is the RI detector or the refractive index detector, where there should be a appreciable change in the refractive index of the substance. This is the working principle of RI. The refractive index detector, it is of two types. The one is the Franzel type of a detector, and second one is the deflection refractometer. Along with this, the second type is the UV detector. The UV detector, it supports the gradient illusion, so it is most widely used detector. Then the third one is the luminescence detector, which is applicable for the analysis of luminescent as well as the fluorescent substances. Then the fourth one is the light scattering detector, where it works on the principle of the scattering of light, and a series of diodes or a series array of diodes, it is used in case of photodiode type of a detector. Now this last one, electrochemical detector. In the electrochemical detector, it is most widely used in the fields such as polarography or electrogravimetry, where the electrochemical reactions are taking place, and this is also highly sensitive type of a detector. So the choice of detector, it depends on the substances that you want to analyze by using HPLC, whether they are polar in nature, non-polar in nature, whether they are volatile in nature or non-volatile in nature. So while optimizing the HPLC experiment, you will select the detector, and after doing the choice of your detector, then you will go further for the analysis of the compound. Now this is all about the today's lecture, that is the various type of detectors used in HPLC. In the next lecture, we will focus on the different types of sample injection units as well as the pumping system. Thank you.